again. We're going to rethink the cat and the dog house from last class. I think I made it a little bit too complex. It didn't have to be that full of geometry. We could do a lot better job, and that's what we're going to do now. This is a redesigned cat dog house, and you can make it appropriate to the size of your pet. Cats are typically a little smaller. Dogs, you make them as big as you need to. So here's the new design. Doesn't have quite the geometry that the other one did. You can see it has a little more simple version of it. Nicer door, I believe, and I'll show you how to do just that. That's all we get right there, one face. Now we want to make it proper proportions, so we want to stretch it out a little bit. So we want to scale it on the y-axis. Stretch it out a little bit. Give a nice rectangular proportion there. Since this plane has no thickness, we're going to add an extrusion on it and make it the floor. So to do that, we go to the Edit tab, select the face, and we extrude it. Gonna make it about that thick, as thick as you'd like it. If you want a little thicker for insulation, you go right ahead. Now what we want to do is we want to pull up the walls around all four sides. So we use the inset key, I. We draw in the mouse until we get a proper thickness and click. Now what we want to do is we want to draw these four walls upward. So we select them one by one, shift, select, select, select. Back off a little bit and extrude. And that's how easy it is to make a box. There we go. We have the basis for our pet house. Before we go any further and work on the roof, we want to make an opening. So we'll select a face, click on it, press I for insert, put a basic shape in there, and we can resize this once we get it located. So there it is. We can select the edges now, number 2 on the row, number row. Select these two edges and scale those closer together, which go along the x-axis. We want to make a door about so wide. We want to take this one. We want to press G and Z and bring it down. Like before, we want to have a little lip on it so the water doesn't run into the house. So we'll put it right about there. Now what we can do is we can go to the face, select number 3 on the number line, select this opening, and press X. We want to take it away. We want to delete the face. So there we have it. Now what you see is we deleted the face, that portion of the face, on this face, on these faces. But there's another side to this. You can see, well, lo and behold, we didn't do that over here. So we do basically the same thing. You select the face, you do the eye, put an inset in it, go to edge select, number 2, select these two edges, scale it toward each other, which is the x-axis, scale them closer together. We're going to have to guess at this. I'm going to make it narrow so we can see it on the other side. Then select this one, grab it, the z-axis, and bring it down. I'm going to make it a little higher. Now go to face select, X, delete face. Okay, now we have this configuration. Okay, you see our second hole is there. Down a little bit so we can see it over here. Yeah, that's better. So we scale it to where maybe a couple of the edges match. Select these two edges, scale that on the x-axis, bring it open until getting pretty close to them being similar sizes. They don't have to be exact. You'll have a little bevel, a little angle on the edge doorway. That's what we want to do. Now what I want to show you is a new feature or a new key, and that's the F key. And the F key is used to fill in faces. You see we have this gap here. We have this open face right here. In fact, all the way around it. So what we want to do is we want to go to vertexes. Number one, we want to select 4 vertices and press F, and you see what happens. It has added a face here. You want to do that all the way around. So get to where you can see your 4 dots, F, F, and F. Now we have an enclosed door. There's no gap between this face and this face. There we've made the door. Now that we've made a face up here in the top portion of this doorway, we can now put some lines in here and make an arch. So what we want to do is we want to use the loop cut. We want to go to the faces, select that face, use Control R. Now there's our first cut. Scroll the wheel, double click it so it doesn't move, doesn't slide anywhere, and now we have these faces across the doorway. I do want to put on my proportional editing tool, and that is the letter O. So watch this as I press O. So what we want to do now is select the face, ensure that we're on proportional editing. We want to grab this face on the Z-axis, and it'll draw up and put a nice rounded arch. Okay? Now I only can go so far, so I want to give myself more room. So what I want to do is select this, press the Control key, press where I want to stop, and then it fills in all of these. That's a quick way of selecting a line of faces. Proportional off, because that would draw the entire header, this top line. It would bring it down too. I don't want to do that. I want to just bring these down. So I'm taking this off, grab on the Z, see what it does? It brings it down now. Now I have some more room to make that arch a little bit more pronounced. So go back to it, select that, proportional, grab on the Z, there we continue with the arch. Control, click, from one side to the other, we'll select all those. Take off the proportional, grab the Z, grab G, Z, then bring it down. Now, this is a preference. You can make your door as wide or as tall. You can make this as rounded, and using this, use different shapes of the rounding. But that's pretty good for me right now. Now to install a roof. You can do this a variety of ways, but let's do it as direct as we can. I'm going to put the 3D cursor over here. I'm going to Shift A, and this time I am going to use a cube. I just want to select this. I want to separate it and make it a new object. So I put the P key and select by selection. Now it's a separate object. You can tell that by clicking over here. We can click on this, or we go to Tab and click on this. Now I can raise this. Oh, okay. I still have the proportional editor on. That's my mistake. I'll click that off. Select it now. Grab it. It operates by itself. Okay, we want to put it over here. Basically, we'll size it properly. We want to scale it. We want to make it thin. Scale Z. Dog house or cat house out of what he has. So now we want to scale it on the X a little bit. We want to make it a little wider. We want to make it a little longer, of course. Scale on the Y to kind of match house. And now what we want to do is we want to grab it. See how we can place it here to where we can just see the top. See, we can just see the top of the house. Now it's too long. Let's reduce the length of it. Sorry. Scale Y. Bring it closer to the size of the box. Now we can grab it. That's pretty good. Close enough. Scale it just a little wider. Yeah, barely overlaps now. The reason I want to see this edge here is I'm going to put some cuts to where we can fold this and manipulate this to make it a roof. So now, what do? Go to Tab, Control R, and we're going to put in 2 cuts. I'm going to press the right key and it'll put it in the center. We want to scale these on the X. We want to put it right in the middle of this wall, just like that. Okay? Confirm it. Press the L key. Left mouse button. Now we want to do the same thing. Control R, and we just want 1 cut there, and we don't want to move it, and double click the left mouse button. Now what we can do is we can grab that on the Z and put a pitch on the roof. So now what we have here is a pretty decent box and roof. And so what I'm going to do, grab this, bring it up, and now hide I'm going to bring it up enough to where that edge is hidden. Okay, this is on top of it. So if you want to go to the front view, you can go to X-ray. You can actually see where things are. Click this, go up, grab Z, put it right on top if you want to be pretty exact. There you go. All right. Now all we need to do is fill in these 2 ends. So to finish up this project, what we're going to do is we're going to close in these 2 ends. I think they're called eaves. And we're going to do it this way. I'm going to press Shift right mouse. I'm going to put my 3D cursor right there. I'm going to add a mesh cube. Now it's huge, so we need to scale it down to where it's a little more workable. Take the vertices and merge M at the center. Take these 2, merge at the center. Now we have this little triangle piece, okay, like a tent. Now we want to select the entire thing. We want to make it a selection by itself so we can manipulate it without changing the other parts of our project. So now, select it. We want to scale it on the Y. I've got the proportional thing on again, so I'm going to turn that off. That could mess us up. I want to scale my little end piece here on the X-axis. So I can drag it till it gets out here, about like that. Almost have it in the middle. I want to take, edit, edge, select this edge. And I want to grab it on the Z and bring it up. There we go, folks. We're getting real close to filling that in, aren't we? Now all we have to do is tweak it to make it the right size. So I'm going to go front view, grab it. Whoops, I got the proportional on again. Take that off. I'm going to grab it. Whoops, I have the that one edge, so I want to select it all. Front view, grab. Now I can manipulate it to where I want it. Kind of in the center there. Go to edge mode. Front again. Grab it. Put it kind of in the center there. Okay, now we got this view. We've got it lined up. But what about the side view? Let's go to number 3 on the number pad. Go to the side view. Go into X-ray vision. You see, side view, number 3. Grab it on the Y. Bring it kind of close, kind of out here. How about there? There it is. It's probably in a pretty good place right there. Now what do we want to do? We want to duplicate that. Put one over here. We don't have to make the whole thing. We'll just shift, duplicate. It's on the Y-axis. Drag it down here. It's relatively in the same place, so we'll just kind of put it right there. Let's go into it and see what it looks like. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's good enough for government work. I think your pet will be very, very happy there. All right. Well, I just wanted to show you, repeat the redesign on it, give you some additional hints as to how you can do it a little bit more efficiently than we did in class. Thank you. I'll see you Thursday, and we're going to do some more building. See you then.